Okay, I want everyone to pause for a second. Just stop what you're doing and listen to these numbers, because when I first saw them, I actually thought they were a typo.
They're pretty staggering.
We're looking at the job market landscape for 2025 and 2026. And if you are still operating by the old rules,
Oh, the old rules are gone.
completely gone. Tweak the resume, send a cover letter, cross your fingers. I have some tough news for you. You are basically bringing a knife to a nuclear gunfight.
It's not an exaggeration at all. The landscape hasn't just shifted, it's completely inverted.
We're looking at data showing that 99% of hiring managers are already using AI in their selection process.
99.
99%. I mean, that is effectively everyone. If you apply for a job today, a machine is the first thing that sees your name.
It's just ubiquitous. It's not coming soon. It is the air we breathe now.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker that really drives the point home. 98% of those managers say it's making them way more efficient.
Right.
So from the company's side, the machine works. It saves time. It cuts costs. They are not going back.
Right. But then you flip that coin, and here's where the anxiety kicks in. We have 89% of HR leaders believing AI will impact the majority of jobs by 2026. So we're sitting here looking at this digital arms race, and the question on everyone's mind, the question we are going to try to answer today is simple. Is this a threat? Are we all doomed to be replaced by algorithms?
Or is this actually a golden opportunity if you know how to play the game?
That's it. That's the question.
That is exactly the tension we need to explore. Look, the source material we are pulling apart today is fascinating. It's a guide called Cómo usar la IA en la búsqueda de tu primer empleo by Oscar Hernando.
And while the title mentions first job,
Don't let that fool you. The strategy here is universal. It's about a fundamental shift in how talent is identified.
and our mission for this deep dive is pretty specific.
Right.
We aren't here to tell you how to let a robot do your work. We are not here to help you cheat or trick the system.
Well,
We want to figure out how to use these tools as a super assistant.
think of it like Iron Man's suit. Tony Stark is still the genius inside, but the suit gives him flight and lasers. We want to build your suit.
I love that visual. So let's jump right into the belly of the beast. The resume.
Or the PDF that decides your fate.
Exactly. Or the document that keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
Now, our source highlights a stat here that is just depressing.
Oh, I know the one you mean.
Recruiters spend less than 7 seconds reviewing a CV. 7 seconds. I spend longer deciding what coffee to order.
It's brutal efficiency.
Mm.
But you have to understand why. Before those human eyes spend 7 seconds on you, you've likely already passed through the applicant tracking system.
Okay, let's demystify this because people talk about beating the ATS like it's a video game boss. What's actually happening there? Is it just looking for keywords?
It used to be just keywords, but in 2026, it's semantic matching. It's looking for context.
Context.
It's reading your resume and asking, does this person's story match the story of the job description? If you don't speak the language of the job description, you are invisible. You don't exist.
So how do we fix that without sounding like a robot? Because that's the danger, right? We've
Yeah.
all seen those AI-written resumes that sound weirdly perfect.
That is the trap. And this is where the strategy of, well, let's call it editor versus author, becomes essential. And this is backed by experts from Harvard, Tufts, Flexa Careers. The rule is simple.
What's the rule?
Never, ever give AI a blank canvas.
Walk me through that. Why not?
If you open ChatGPT or Claude and say, write me a CV for a project manager, what do you get?
Nah, you get a generic buzzword salad. You're a synergistic leader with a passion for excellence in cross-functional teams.
Exactly. It's technically perfect, but it's hallucinatory fluff.
Yeah.
It sounds like everyone else because it's trained on everyone else. The editor versus author strategy means you are the author.
You write the messy draft.
You pour your actual experience, your weird projects, your specific metrics into the document. You dump the raw clay on the table.
And then you hire the AI as your ruthless editor.
Precisely. You are using the AI to polish your diamond, not to manufacture a fake one.
So, practically speaking, because we love actionable advice here, what does that prompt look like? You don't just say, fix this.
No, you have to be specific.
The-
The source gives us a killer structure. You paste your draft and the job description and you say, improve this CV to match the job description paste JD. Optimize it for ATS keywords. Keep my voice. And this is crucial.
What's that?
Add quantifiable achievement.
Keep my voice. That's the variable that matters.
It is, but I want to highlight that part about quantifiable achievements. AI is great at spotting where you're being vague.
Oh, interesting.
So if you wrote, I helped with sales, the AI, if prompted correctly, will ask, by how much? Did sales go up 10%, 50%? It forces you to be specific.
There's another layer to this prompt engineering that I thought was brilliant, the persona prompt.
Yes.
I feel like this is where people really unlock the power of these models.
This is leveraging the AI's ability to simulate a perspective.
So instead of just treating it like a spell checker, you tell the AI, act as a senior recruiter in the fintech industry.
Right. Act as a senior recruiter. Analyze this job offer and suggest improvements to my CV to highlight strengths. And then you add the most important part.
Which is?
Do not invent anything. Just reorganize and empower what I already have.
I want to pause on do not invent anything. That feels like a safety rail we really need to talk about.
It is the most important instruction. Large language models are eager to please. They are yes men. If the job description asks for Python experience and you don't have it, the AI might just nudge it in there if you aren't careful.
That's dangerous.
You have to be explicit. Stick to the facts provided.
Because if you get to the interview and they ask about that Python experience and you can't code,
you are done. Game over. And not just for that job, but your reputation takes a major hit.
Okay, so we've used the AI as an editor. We have a resume that beats the ATS but still sounds human. But there is a trap here, isn't there? We touched on it, but let's be super clear. The uncanny valley of resumes.
The trap is laziness. If you submit a 100% AI-generated CV, you're rolling the dice against AI detectors, which are becoming standard.
But it's more than that.
It is. More importantly, you risk sounding smooth but empty. Humans are messy. We have unique phrasings. If your CV is too polished, too perfect, deeply ironically, it becomes suspicious to a human reader.
It's like seeing a photo that's been photoshopped just a little too much. You know something is off.
Exactly that. Harvard actually recommends you retain the final veto power. Read it aloud. Does it sound like you? If not, change it back.
And speaking of tools, the landscape in 2026 is pretty crowded. Our source mentions the big guns, ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, Gemini, but also specialized tools like Apply or Notebook LM.
Notebook LM is particularly interesting for analyzing offers, which we'll get to in a minute. But the takeaway for this section is clear. The AI is the polisher, not the creator.
Okay, so the resume is locked and loaded. Now we move to the part that makes my palms sweat. Networking.
The necessary evil.
It is. And usually when people use AI for networking, they do it so wrong.
Oh, you mean the robotic, "Dear sir or madam, I am writing to express my interest."
Yes, that. It gets deleted in not 7 seconds, probably 1 second. It just screams spam.
Total spam.
Right. So how do we keep the human touch while using a machine? The source suggests using AI for reconnaissance first, to analyze recruiter profiles.
This is all about research. You can paste a recruiter's LinkedIn profile, their About section, their recent posts, into the AI. You ask it to identify their key interests, their communication style, what they seem to value. You're looking for a hook.
And then, and I love this part, you use a prompt that explicitly injects personality. The source gave this hilarious example.
I know the one.
The Colombia.
Yes. Write a connection message to this recruiter that sounds like me. A Colombian passionate about marketing with subtle humor and zero posturing.
Zero posturing. That instruction is gold.
And the subtle humor part, you're literally programming the AI to be charming.
But notice what that requires. It requires you to know who you are first. You have to know that you are the type of person who uses subtle humor. That's a great point.
If you're a very serious analytical person, you should ask the AI for a professional, data-driven tone. The AI can mirror you, but you have to show it the reflection first.
So it amplifies your actual personality rather than inventing a fake one. If I ask it to be cool in Gen Z and I show up in a suit and tie, there's a major disconnect.
Precisely. Authenticity is the only currency that matters in the long run.
Now, there's another hack here for when you finally get a bite. You're talking to a recruiter or applying to a company. Who has time to read 6 months of financial reports?
Nobody. But you need to know that information to sound competent.
So you ask the AI, summarize the last 6 months of news about company in 5 key points and explain how my experience fits.
And this creates context. Instead of saying, I want a job, you can say, I saw you recently pivoted to a direct-to-consumer model, and my experience in e-commerce logistics aligns perfectly with that shift.
Ah, okay.
You connect the dots for them. You go from being a beggar to being a solution.
Boom. That's the difference right there. You are solving a problem they actually have, based on data they actually released.
It makes the recruiter's job easier. And that's always the goal.
Okay, so the resume worked, the networking worked, you have an interview scheduled, now the real panic sets in.
The interview is where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
And this is where the tools available in 2026 are just mind-blowing. Specifically, Notebook LM.
The source calls it the favorite coach of the year. For those who haven't used it, what makes Notebook LM different from just chatting with ChatGPT?
The key difference is something called grounding. Most AIs are trained on the entire internet, which is great, but it's noisy.
Right.
Notebook LM lets you upload specific documents, your CV, the job description, the company's About Us page. It then creates a closed ecosystem. It grounds its answers only in the documents you provided.
So it's not guessing based on Wikipedia or some random blog from 2018. It's studying your specific materials.
Exactly. It becomes a personalized training camp. You can run a full mock interview simulation that is shockingly accurate to what the real thing will be like.
I tried this recently just to see, and it's wild. You upload your stuff and you tell the AI, generate 15 behavioral and technical questions based on these documents, then conduct a mock interview one question at a time.
And the one-at-a-time part is crucial. Don't let it dump a list on you. Make it interactive.
Right.
You answer, and then this is the magic. You ask for honest feedback.
Honest feedback. You have to ask for it to be critical, don't you? Otherwise, it's too nice.
AI tends to be sycophantic by default. It wants to be helpful. You need to tell it, roast my answer, tell me what was vague, tell me where I rambled. Did I actually answer the question?
One of the frameworks the source mentions for these answers is the STAR method.
Situation, task, action, result.
Hmm.
It's the gold standard for behavioral questions. Tell me about a time you failed. Tell me about a conflict.
And you can practice that with the AI.
You can. You answer using the STAR format, and the AI can analyze if you actually hit all 4 points.
Because we all tend to forget the result, don't we? We talk about the situation for 5 minutes and then forget to say what happened at the end.
Exactly. The AI will catch that. It'll say, great story, but what was the business impact?
And for our listeners in technical fields, coding, data science, engineering, you can take this a step further, right?
Right, absolutely. You can ask the AI to generate coding exercises or business cases relevant to that specific company. If you're applying to a fintech startup, ask for a coding challenge related to transaction processing or fraud detection.
It's like having a tutor who knows exactly what test you're about to take.
It removes the element of surprise. You walk in confident because you've already done the reps.
Okay, so you've crushed the interview. You're feeling good. Now comes the part that makes everyone uncomfortable. Money. Closing the deal.
Negotiation. And before that, the follow-up.
Right, the thank you email. Is that still a thing?
It is absolutely still a thing. It shows professionalism. And AI can draft it in seconds. But again, customize it. Reference something specific you discussed. I really enjoyed our discussion about the future of widgets.
But let's talk money, because this is where knowledge really is power. How do we use AI to stop us from leaving money on the table?
Information asymmetry usually favors the employer. They know what everyone else is getting paid, you don't. But you can bridge that gap. The prompt here needs to be data-driven.
So what do we ask?
You ask, based on data from Glassdoor, LinkedIn, and salary surveys for Rural and City Country, what is the market salary range for someone with my experience level?
You're asking for the data, not just an opinion.
Yes, it gives you a factual basis. So when they say we can offer $6, you can say, based on current market data for this region, the range is usually $5. You aren't being greedy, you're being informed.
It takes the emotion out of it.
It's just business.
That is empowering. Now, before we wrap up, we need to look at the warning labels. The source calls these the 7 deadly sins, though we're grouping them a bit. There are some serious landmines here.
There are. And the first one is ethics. We touched on this, but let's be super clear. Never invent achievement.
Hallucinate me a Nobel Prize, right?
It sounds funny, but people do it. Or they let the AI embellish a project until it's unrecognizable. Recruiters can smell this. And if you can't explain the details of a project in an interview because the AI wrote it,
You're toast.
you are finished. Authenticity isn't just a moral choice, it's a strategic necessity.
The second warning is about bias. And this is a nuanced point, isn't it?
It is. We have to remember that AI models are trained on historical data and historical hiring data. It contains patterns. It favors certain schools, certain companies, maybe even certain phrasing styles that have historically been successful.
So if you ask AI to optimize your resume, it might inadvertently steer you toward a safe, old-school profile.
Exactly. It might sanitize your background or strip away things that make you unique because they don't fit the average successful candidate in its database.
That's a really subtle danger.
You have to review the output to ensure it hasn't accidentally played into these generic tropes or stripped away what makes you, you.
What about dependency?
The mental gym versus the crutch. If you use AI to write every email, every cover letter, and every answer, your brain effectively atrophies.
Mhm.
You lose the ability to articulate your own value.
It's like using GPS to go to the grocery store every day. Eventually, you forget the route.
And when you're in the interview, there is no AI. It's just you. If you haven't done the thinking, you will freeze. Use the AI to practice, not to replace the effort.
And finally, privacy. This seems obvious, but
Standard rule. Don't upload your social security number, your home address, or sensitive proprietary data from your previous job into a public AI model. Just don't do it.
common sense. But common sense isn't always common.
Indeed.
So let's zoom out. What does this all mean for our listener? We've got the tools, we've got the strategy.
It means the landscape has changed, but the driver hasn't. The source material emphasizes this repeatedly. AI is the co-pilot. Efficiency has improved by 98%, which is great. It means less time formatting and more time connecting.
But the human story remains irreplaceable.
Passion, authenticity, that spark AI can simulate it, but it cannot generate it. You have to provide the spark.
I like that image. We are walking through the door that AI opened, but we have to walk through it with style.
With style and with substance.
So for everyone listening, here is the reality check. You have these superpowers at your fingertips. Use them. Don't be afraid of them, but don't let them become you.
Well said.
I want to leave you with something to think about, something that wasn't explicitly in the source but kind of jumped out at me while we were discussing this.
Go on.
If everyone, and I mean everyone, starts using these tools to polish their resumes to perfection, if every CV is perfectly optimized, perfectly grammatically correct, perfectly structured,
Then perfection just becomes the new average.
exactly. That's the paradox of efficiency. When everyone is super, no one is.
Right.
So, in a world of perfect AI-generated candidates, maybe your flaws, your weird gap year, your unusual hobby, that slightly messy project that taught you everything, maybe those human quirks aren't things to hide.
Maybe they're about to become your biggest competitive advantage.
The flaw as the feature, something to mull over while you're writing those prompts. That's it for this deep dive. Go get 'em.
Good luck out there.